Please like, comment, and subscribe. Ever get that feeling like someone's watching you, even when you're alone?
Yeah.
Well, we're going deep into a story that'll make you want to double-check all those shadows.
Oh, yeah.
The Bell Witch legend. One of America's oldest and creepiest ghost stories.
It really is.
Rural Tennessee, early 1800s. A prosperous family on this huge farm. And then, well, things get dark.
What gets me is how this goes way beyond your typical haunted house, you know?
Right.
This is real people. The Bell family, they lived through something truly terrifying.
And it's not just some ghost rattling chains. This Bell Witch, this entity, it seemed to have a real nasty streak.
Yeah, it did.
It all starts with John Bell, the father. He starts seeing these creatures lurking around his farm, like a dog with a rabbit's hook.
I know, right? Those early sightings, they were unsettling, but they were nothing compared to what came next.
Oh, no.
Imagine, right? Unexplainable sounds at night. Knocking, scratching.
Oh, God, no.
Chains dragging, and not just in the house, but outside. Coming from the woods, echoing all around you.
That's the stuff of nightmares. But it gets worse. It starts communicating. This entity calling itself Kate.
You're right.
Not just noises, but mimicking voices, revealing secrets, even debating religion.
That's what's really freaky. You have to wonder, what's behind this? What does it want?
I know.
It could mimic voices, recite scripture, mock exorcisms. This is way more than just a ghost.
It was playing with them.
Yeah.
Messing with their minds.
Yeah.
And then on top of all that, the physical stuff starts.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't just spooky whispers. Things start flying around the house, furniture moving, objects shattering.
Exactly. And it really seemed to target the youngest daughter, Betsy Bell.
Oh, God.
Can you imagine this young woman constantly being attacked?
Yeah.
Scratched, pinched, hair pulled,
Oh.
all by an unseen force. It's beyond haunting. It's assault.
I'm not even sure I'd call it a ghost at this point. More like, I don't know, a demon or something.
Right.
And then there's John Bell. That's where it gets really dark.
His story takes a very bad turn. It wasn't just the attacks. He started getting sick. Unexplained illnesses, seizures, paralysis. And all the while, Kate is taunting him, predicting his death.
Jeez.
Almost like a curse.
It's like it was draining him. I can't imagine the toll that would take, knowing something's out to get you. And then, well, it gets weirder.
Oh, this is where things get really interesting. John Bell is found dead, and the circumstances are mysterious.
Okay.
A vial of poison is found near his body.
Wait, did Kate kill him? Is it a supernatural murder?
Well, that's the big question, isn't it? The Bell Witch bragged about it, said she poisoned old Jack. They even tested the liquid on a cat, and it died instantly. But
what?
it's just so strange. We'll get into different theories later, but there's one thing we need to talk about first.
What's that?
The sheer number of people who said they met the Bell Witch. It wasn't just the family, neighbors, travelers even.
Wait a minute. I think I know where you're going with this. Didn't the future president have a run-in with the Bell Witch?
He did! Andrew Jackson.
Get out!
The story goes that he went to the farm, everyone was talking about it, and his wagon just suddenly stopped.
Oh, wow.
Jackson, he wasn't easily scared, but he supposedly said, "I'd rather fight the British Army than spend another night with the Bell Witch."
Wow. If Andrew Jackson is creeped out,
Yeah.
you know it's serious.
Right.
But hold on, even after John Bell died, it didn't end. People said they heard singing and laughing at his funeral.
It was like celebrating.
What?
And it didn't stop there. Kate, she made some chilling promises before she left, said she'd be back. In 7 years, and again after 107 years.
Wait, so there's more to this, like a sequel to The Haunting. This keeps getting creepier and creepier.
Oh, we'll get there. But first, let's dive into those theories about the Bell Witch.
Okay.
Was it a vengeful spirit? A demon? Or something even more unexplainable?
All right, you've got me hooked now. Let's unpack this. This is one truly bizarre, terrifying tale.
So how do we even begin to explain this, if we can explain it at all?
I know, right?
When you look into the Bell Witch, the theories go from the supernatural to, like, the psychological.
Yeah, because part of me just wants to say, okay, it's a ghost, case closed. But then you remember those details, those things that make you wonder, what if there's a more normal explanation?
Exactly. Let's start with the supernatural. Some people think the Bell Witch was a spirit, someone who was wronged, maybe a neighbor who had a grudge against the family.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Like a classic vengeful spirit story, right?
Right.
But then there are those stories where Kate seems to know everything, even things happening miles away from the farm. A regular ghost wouldn't be able to do that, would it?
That's a great point, and that's why some people start talking about demons or even a poltergeist, which is usually connected to someone's anger or trauma.
Hold on, are we saying someone in the Bell family, maybe Betsy, was causing all this?
Yeah.
Like subconsciously?
Some people think so. It's been explored. Think about it. Betsy was the main target, and poltergeists are often tied to repressed emotions, especially in teenagers. But that doesn't really explain everything, does it?
No.
John Bell's death, for example, or those weird animal sightings at the beginning.
It feels like a stretch to blame Betsy for her own father's death, even for a paranormal show like this.
Right. So what about some more down-to-earth theories? There's always the hoax theory.
Ah, the classic.
Some folks believe the whole thing was made up by the Bells themselves. Maybe they wanted attention or even money?
That's a little crazy, but back then, a good ghost story could bring in the crowds. People would travel just to see something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. But could they fake everything? The attacks, the voices, John Bell's death? That's a lot of work, even for a family of pranksters.
You'd think someone would confess by now, right?
You'd think so. Okay, so let's look at some scientific possibilities. One theory is that the Bells might have had ergot poisoning.
Ergot poisoning, what's that?
It's a fungus. It grows on grain, like rye. If you eat it, it can cause hallucinations, convulsions, even gangrene.
Okay, that doesn't sound good at all. Could that explain why John Bell was having those weird symptoms?
Possibly. And if the whole family was eating this contaminated food, maybe that's why they had similar experiences. The voices, the strange sightings.
But the physical attacks. Can a fungus throw furniture around?
That's where things get tricky. Some skeptics think those events were either exaggerated or maybe they just remember them differently over time.
Right, like a game of telephone.
Exactly. The details get changed with each retelling.
But what about Kate mimicking voices? How does ergot poisoning explain that?
There's another theory, and this one's all about psychology. Some researchers think the Bells experienced something called mass hysteria, or a shared delusion.
Like they believed so strongly in this entity that they started seeing and hearing things that weren't actually there.
Exactly. And it's not as crazy as it sounds. There are real cases of this throughout history. Groups of people, usually under a lot of stress or in isolated places, they start to have similar symptoms and beliefs.
So the fear itself, the belief in the Bell Witch, could have created these experiences.
It's possible. Our minds are powerful things. In the right circumstances, we can convince ourselves of almost anything.
It's kind of scary when you think about it. So you have vengeful spirits, poisoned grain, psychological episodes. Do you believe one theory more than the others?
Honestly, that's what makes this story so amazing. There's no clear answer. It's like a puzzle with missing pieces, and that's what keeps people coming back to it, trying to solve the mystery.
Don't forget, Kate promised to come back.
Oh, yeah.
Did she keep her word? What happened after those 7 years?
According to John Bell Jr., she did come back, right on schedule. He said she spoke about the past, the present, and the future before disappearing again.
So the haunting continued. But what about that 107-year promise? Did anything happen in 1935?
Well, there weren't any reports of full-on hauntings. But there are stories, little things here and there, strange feelings around the old Bell farm and that cave nearby. Some people think her energy is still there, waiting to come back.
That's creepy. Like the story's not over yet, even after all these years.
And that's what makes the Bell Witch legend so enduring. It still fascinates and terrifies us. It reminds us that some mysteries may never be solved.
It's not just a ghost story. It makes you think about the nature of reality, the line between what we can and can't see.
Exactly. The Bell Witch forces us to face those questions. Is there something more out there, something beyond our grasp? Or are we just projecting our fears onto the world?
I think that's why people love these stories. They want to believe, or maybe they need to believe, that there's something more than just the everyday.
It's a reminder that we don't have all the answers. And maybe we never will. Maybe that's okay. Maybe that little bit of mystery keeps life interesting.
As long as it stays on the other side of the microphone, right?
Exactly. We can explore the darkness, but we don't want it knocking on our door.
Good point. So listeners, if you're ever in Adams, Tennessee, maybe think twice before going near the Bell Witch Cave. You never know what might be hiding in the shadows.
And if you liked this deep dive into the Bell Witch legend, please like, comment, and subscribe for more explorations into the unexplained.
It's kind of crazy. You know, we're sitting here analyzing this story, picking it apart, but I can't stop thinking about what it must have been like for the Bells, living through that every single day.
I know what you mean.
That fear, the not knowing what would happen next.
It's hard to even imagine, right? Back then, people were so superstitious.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a spooky story. For them, it was a real threat, a terrifying one.
And it wasn't over in a flash either. This went on for years.
Hmm.
How do you even cope with something like that?
Well, it's interesting, isn't it, how the story has stayed with us. It's become a classic, like a part of Southern folklore.
I think it's because it happened in a real place, the Bell Farm,
Huh.
in Adams, Tennessee. It's not just some nameless ghost. It's connected to real people in a real place.
And speaking of real places, that cave, the Bell Witch Cave, people still say it's haunted. They feel uneasy, hear whispers, even see things. It's like the energy of that haunting is still there.
Like the story itself is a haunting. It's soaked into the land, into our memories.
That's a good way to put it. And it tells you a lot about the power of belief, whether you believe in ghosts or not. When so many people have had weird experiences in that place, well, it makes you think.
Doesn't it? About what's real, what's not. The line between what we see and what we don't see.
Absolutely. The Bell Witch story forces you to ask those questions. What if there is something more out there? Something we just can't understand? Or are we just making it all up?
And that's what I think keeps people coming back to these stories, you know? They want to believe, or maybe they need to believe, that there's more than just everyday life.
It's a good reminder that we don't know everything, and maybe we never will. And maybe that's a good thing. Maybe a little mystery keeps things interesting.
As long as that mystery stays on the other side of the microphone.
Exactly. We can talk about the dark stuff, but we don't want it in our living rooms.
Well said. So, listeners, if you're ever driving through Adams, Tennessee, maybe think twice before you stop by that Bell Witch Cave. Might not want to find out what's hiding there.
And if you liked this deep dive, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more explorations into the unexplained.
Please like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for joining us on the deep dive. Until next time, sleep tight. And don't let the Bell Witch bite.